The harbingers of deception. The massive Viserion ships appeared in Earth's orbit on a clear autumn morning, their crystalline hulls refracting sunlight into prismatic displays that dazzled observers worldwide. For 3 days, they maintained position, broadcasting no messages, making no aggressive moves. Earth's government scrambled to establish unified protocols while militaries worldwide went to high alert. On the 4th day, the message came. We are the Viserion Alliance. We come in peace and friendship. We wish to establish diplomatic relations with your world. Dr. Elena Reyes watched the broadcast from her laboratory at the International Xenobiology Institute. At 42, with steel-gray eyes and prematurely silver hair pulled back in a severe knot, she had spent her career theorizing about extraterrestrial biology. Now theory would become practice. They look almost human, her assistant remarked, staring at the image of the Viserion ambassador, tall and slender with pale blue skin, 4-fingered hands, and large almond-shaped eyes. That's what worries me, Elena replied. Convergent evolution across star systems is highly improbable. Either we share a common ancestor, or they've deliberately modified their appearance to seem familiar to us. The Viserions established embassies in 12 major cities. They shared medical technology that cured previously untreatable diseases. They provided clean energy systems that promised to end climate change within a decade. They asked only for cultural exchange and the right to study Earth's unique biological diversity. 6 months after first contact, Dr. Reyes was appointed to the International Oversight Committee for Viserion Relations. Her first meeting with Ambassador Theros left her uneasy. Your species fascinates us, Dr. Reyes, the ambassador said, his voice melodic despite coming through a translation device. Particularly your neurological development. The way human children learn, it's unlike anything we've seen in 17 galactic sectors. Children adapt quickly, Elena agreed cautiously. Their neural plasticity allows for rapid skill acquisition. Yes, plasticity. Theros' eyes brightened. A wonderful term. We wish to study this more closely. Would your committee approve educational exchange programs? Within weeks, Viserion observers were placed in schools across the globe. They brought miraculous teaching tools, interactive holograms, thought-responsive learning aids, games that adapted to each child's cognitive patterns. Parents and teachers welcomed them. Children adored them. Only Elena noticed the pattern in their deployments. They focused on children between ages 6 and 12, particularly in regions with genetic diversity. They conducted what they called aptitude scans, but shared little data with human scientists. They're searching for something specific, she told Commander David Jackson during their weekly security briefing. Jackson, a career military officer now serving as military liaison to the Oversight Committee, was one of the few who took her concerns seriously. Searching for what? He asked, frowning at the map where she'd marked Viserion observer locations. I don't know yet, but they're particularly interested in children who score high on creative problem-solving and show unusual neural activity patterns during their scans. Jackson leaned back in his chair. My daughter's school has Viserion observers. They singled her out for some special program last week. I wouldn't let her participate, Elena said quietly. 3 months later, the first children disappeared. A small village in Norway reported 3 children missing from their beds. No signs of forced entry, no evidence of struggle. They had simply vanished overnight. The children had one thing in common. All had participated in Viserion aptitude testing the previous week. Similar reports emerged from a coastal town in Japan, a mountain community in Peru, a suburb in Australia. Always the same pattern. Children who had been identified as exceptional by Viserion observers, vanishing without a trace. When Elena presented her findings to the Oversight Committee, she was shocked by their response. These are unfortunate coincidences, the committee chairman stated. The Viserions have transformed our world for the better. We cannot jeopardize our relationship based on speculation. 78 children are missing, Elena countered, her voice rising. That's not speculation. The official position. The chairman replied coldly, "Is that these incidents are unrelated to our extraterrestrial visitors. This line of inquiry is closed, Dr. Reyes." That night, Alina received an encrypted message from Commander Jackson. "My daughter is gone. Meet me at Location Alpha. Bring everything you have." Location Alpha was a safe house Jackson maintained off official records. When Alina arrived, she found him haggard, eyes red-rimmed from sleeplessness. "Mira disappeared last night," he said without preamble. "But I was prepared." He activated a screen showing security footage from his daughter's bedroom. The timestamp showed 2:17 a.m. A pale blue light filtered through the window. Moments later, the sleeping form of his 12-year-old daughter rose slowly into the air, suspended in the light, and floated toward the window. "I had specialized sensors installed," Jackson continued, switching to a different view that revealed what normal cameras couldn't capture, the outline of a Viserion craft hovering outside the house. "They're taking them," Alina whispered. "But why? What do they want with our children?" The answer came from an unexpected source. A junior Viserion cultural attaché named Lyra contacted Alina secretly, requesting a meeting away from embassy surveillance. "I cannot participate in this deception any longer," Lyra told her, the Viserion's skin pulsing with distress patterns. "Your children possess something precious, neural architecture that allows for intuitive leaps our species lost millennia ago." "What are they doing with our children?" Alina demanded. "Integration," Lyra replied, not meeting her eyes. "Their developing brains are connected to our quantum computational network. They become processing nodes, solving problems no Viserion mind can approach. They're using our children as living computers." Alina felt ill. "The process is considered humane by our standards," Lyra said. "They retain consciousness but serve a greater purpose within the collective." "Where are they keeping them?" "The central processing hub orbits our homeworld, Visir Prime. But you cannot reach it. Our fleet protects." "You're going to help us," Commander Jackson interrupted, stepping from the shadows where he'd been listening. "You're going to give us everything we need to find these children and bring them home." Working in secret with a small team of trusted scientists and military personnel, Alina and Jackson used Lyra's information to confirm what was happening worldwide. Using specialized detection equipment, they documented Viserion ships harvesting children from 5 continents. When they had incontrovertible evidence, they bypassed official channels and released everything directly to the public: the abduction footage, Lyra's testimony, and the neurological data showing exactly what the Viserions were doing to the abducted children. The global response was immediate and overwhelming. Riots erupted outside Viserion embassies. Military forces worldwide mobilized to protect remaining children and confront Viserion observers. Ambassador Theros addressed the United Nations emergency session, his previously friendly demeanor replaced by cold arrogance. "Your offspring are being elevated to a higher purpose," he stated. "Their neural capabilities serve the collective. This is an honor, not a crime. Your emotional attachments are irrelevant to the greater needs of galactic civilization. You came as friends and took our children." The UN Secretary-General responded, voice shaking with controlled rage. "The human race now considers itself at war with the Viserion Alliance." Theros' skin darkened to deep purple, a sign of contempt in Viserion biology. "War? You cannot even reach our nearest outpost. Your primitive technology is millennia behind ours. Resistance is meaningless." As the Viserion delegation departed Earth, their ships reconfigured, weapon systems becoming visible on their previously sleek hulls. Their true purpose revealed, they left humanity with a choice: submission or extinction. But they had fundamentally misunderstood the species they had violated. Humans would choose neither. Humanity unleashed. 3 months after the Viserions revealed their true nature, Dr. Alina Reyes stood in the command center of the newly formed Earth Defense Coalition. The sprawling underground facility hummed with activity as scientists, engineers, and military personnel from 37 nations worked with single-minded focus. The neural interface prototype is ready for testing, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka reported, gesturing to the holographic display. Based on the Viserion technology, we've reverse-engineered, but modified to work with adult human brains. No integration, just enhanced processing speed and reaction time. And the side effects? Elena asked. Minimal with the new safeguards. Temporary headaches, some disorientation after disconnection. Nothing permanent. Commander Jackson joined them, now wearing the insignia of the Coalition's military commander. We need those interfaces operational before the fleet launches. Intelligence indicates the Viserions are bringing reinforcements from their core systems. In the 3 months since declaring war, humanity had undergone the most rapid technological advancement in its history. The Viserions had underestimated human ingenuity and determination. With Lyra's help, and by reverse engineering captured Viserion technology, Earth's scientists had made quantum leaps in propulsion, weapons, and shield technology. More importantly, they'd developed methods to track the quantum entanglement signatures left by Viserion transport beams. Each abducted child left a trace, and those traces led to the same destination, Visir Prime. The first wave of defense platforms is operational, Jackson reported. Planetary shield coverage is at 67%. The fleet will be ready in 2 weeks. The Viserions still outmatch us technologically, Elena reminded him. But they've never faced a species fighting for its children. The Viserion response to humanity's preparations was swift and brutal. Their warships targeted military installations and research facilities across Earth. Millions died in the first wave of attacks. But the underground Coalition facilities remained secure, and the orbital defense platforms, hidden until activated, took a devastating toll on the attackers. When the Earth Defense Fleet launched, it consisted of 300 vessels converted from various nations' space programs and equipped with reverse-engineered Viserion technology. At their heart was the flagship Prometheus, carrying Elena, Jackson, and a strike team with a singular mission: locate and recover the abducted children. They expect us to attack their forward bases, Jackson told his officers during the final briefing. Instead, we're going straight for Visir Prime. Our shield technology can mimic their energy signatures long enough to get us through their outer defenses. And once we're there, asked Captain Ramirez, leading the ground forces. Dr. Reyes has the exact coordinates of the processing hub from Lyra's data. We insert, extract the children, and withdraw before their main fleet can respond. Elena studied the faces around her, determined, focused, aware of the nearly impossible odds they faced. Remember, she said quietly, the children are integrated into their systems. Extraction must follow precise protocols to avoid neural damage. The journey to Visir Prime took 23 days through the quantum corridors Lyra had revealed. Each day brought reports of continuing Viserion attacks on Earth, and each day the planet's defenses held, barely. When they emerged near Visir Prime, the sight was both beautiful and terrifying. The Viserion homeworld glowed with azure bioluminescence, orbited by massive ring structures that served as the heart of their civilization. And among those rings was their target, the Central Neural Processing Hub. Their defenses are even more extensive than Lyra warned, Jackson observed as sensor data streamed in. The hub is protected by energy fields we can't penetrate with our current technology. We don't need to penetrate them, Elena replied. We need to make them lower the shields voluntarily. She activated a communication channel to the Viserion command frequency Lyra had provided. This is Dr. Elena Reyes of Earth. We know what you've done with our children. We have come to reclaim them. The response was immediate. A Viserion commander, his skin rippling with patterns of outrage. Your primitive vessels cannot threaten us. Retreat or be destroyed. We're not here to threaten, Elena replied calmly. We're here to negotiate. I have data you'll want to see. She transmitted a packet containing information about a devastating flaw Lyra had discovered in the Viserion quantum network, a flaw that could cascade through their entire system if triggered. The silence stretched for several minutes before the commander responded. Your shuttle is cleared to dock at Access Point 7. You and 2 others only. Jackson selected himself and Captain Ramirez to accompany Alina. The rest of the fleet maintained position, ready to either retrieve them or initiate the contingency plan if negotiations failed. The neural processing hub was a marvel of biotechnology. Organic computing systems merged seamlessly with crystalline structures. But the wonder quickly gave way to horror when they saw what lay at its heart. Hundreds of children, human children, suspended in transparent chambers, their small bodies connected to the Viserion systems by a web of glowing filaments. Their eyes were open but unseeing, their expressions peaceful despite their imprisonment. "My God," Ramirez whispered. "You said you wanted to negotiate," the Viserion commander stated, entering with guards. "What do you offer in exchange for these processing units?" Processing units. Jackson's hand moved toward his weapon, but Alina stopped him. "We offer you a choice," she said. "Return our children and withdraw from Earth space permanently, or we will trigger the quantum cascade failure described in the data I sent you." "Impossible," the commander scoffed. "That would require access to your central network node, which we now have, thanks to this facility." Alina held up a small device. "This transmitter is already connected to your system. One signal activates the cascade." The commander's skin paled. "You would destroy yourselves as well. This facility's defenses would vaporize your fleet if triggered." "We came prepared to die," Jackson said simply. "Are you?" For a tense moment, it seemed the Viserion would call their bluff. Then his skin shifted to a pattern they hadn't seen before: resignation. "The children cannot be disconnected instantly," he said. "The neural shock would kill them. It requires a gradual process." "We know," Alina replied. "Our scientists developed a safe extraction protocol. You will begin immediately." Under the watchful eyes of Earth forces, the Viserion technicians initiated the extraction process. Coalition medical teams arrived from the fleet to monitor each child's condition as they were carefully disconnected from the alien systems. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Viserion attack suddenly ceased. Their ships withdrew to defensive positions as news of the situation at Visir Prime reached their commanders. The extraction took 3 days. Many children were disoriented, some unable to speak after months integrated into the alien network. But they were alive, and human medical technology, enhanced by what they'd learned from the Viserions, could help them recover. As the last child was transferred to the medical transport, Alina confronted the Viserion commander one final time. "You came to our world under the guise of friendship. You took our children to use them like tools. You thought us primitive and helpless before your advanced technology." She activated a display showing Earth's new defense systems and the growing fleet in orbit. "Remember this. We did this in 3 months, driven by what you took from us. Imagine what we will become if you ever threaten us again." The return journey was slower, the fleet carrying precious cargo that required careful handling. By the time they reached Earth orbit, the news of their success had spread worldwide. The Viserion forces had withdrawn completely from Earth space, retreating to their core systems. In the aftermath, humanity's position in the galaxy fundamentally changed. Other spacefaring species, long dominated by the Viserion alliance, established contact with Earth. Many had suffered similar exploitation and saw humans as potential allies against Viserion expansion. 1 year after the rescue mission, Alina stood in a rehabilitation center watching children play, former captives now recovering their humanity. Among them was Mira Jackson, Commander Jackson's daughter, helping younger children with their therapy exercises. "The neural scans show remarkable recovery," the medical director reported. "Their brains are rewiring, adapting. Children are resilient." "More resilient than the Viserions understood," Alina agreed. A small hand slipped into hers. Mira looked up at her with eyes that had seen too much, yet still held hope. "The stars talk to me sometimes," the girl said quietly. "In my dreams. They show me things." "What things?" Elena asked. New ships, better ones, ways to protect everyone. Mira smiled. The Viserians didn't take just our brains, Dr. Reyes. They gave us something too, knowledge of the stars. And now it's ours. Elena looked from the child to the sky visible through the dome above them. The Viserians had sought to exploit humanity's greatest resource, its children. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant and given it the stars.